Time to add the entire server.
I'm gonna pull up the stream
That's good,
on
that's
my
good.
computer so I can also see the sweeping camera.
ERAU-T1. Okay. We are live. Everything is published. We are good to go. T-Good in the hood.
Yeah.
Sage with a whole lot of hydrates. I will get to those.
Drink your water.
Actually, I have milk.
That's not hydrating.
I don't care. Didn't ask.
You're cheating.
Looking at today's game, T-Good, we have the losers bracket final. But before we actually no, the next scene is the bracket. So looking at the bracket T-Good, we started with T1 and Bread Dog. Bread Dog won that in a very convincing fashion. Fika Time then took on AFN. AFN fell to the loser bracket with that, meaning Fika Time and Bread Dog would meet in the winners final. Bread Dog, of course, winning that will be in the... Oh, this is the wrong bracket. It's slightly different, which doesn't change a whole lot, but it makes me sad.
The vibe remains the same.
Yeah. So that means Bread Dog is in the finals, meaning JP and Sage make their return for the first time since season 1. Melly for the first time since season 2. T1 and AFN did battle that out in the losers bracket. That was the first game of the losers bracket. AFN, of course, falling to T1. And now we have the culmination of those two teams that AFN played and then lost to because they stink. I am the captain of that team, and that's why they stink. Fika Time and T1. So, should be a pretty exciting game.
No personal vendetta here.
Yeah.
Completely unbiased. You wish for a totally fair and even game between the two competitors.
Yeah, it feels bad. So, yeah, it's going to team number 1, that being ERAT1, which we'll refer to as T1 because that's a long name. So looking at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University's roster T-Good, we have Pulsar on tank, who is Lazy Dog today, Kava and Chandra on the DPS, and Schindel and Scheiber on the support. Can you flip me a coin real quick?
Yeah, sure. I have several coins.
Don't care. Heads or tails?
Which one?
I'm finding out right now. But while we're waiting for that, Fika Time does have a roster, which is good. They called Tails T-Good. Sparksy is no longer on the tank. He is a support now. Amphibia is gone. That is now Shellblade, who is now Gary on the support, joining Sparksy. You also have Hunta and Lemos rounding out that DPS line, playing that somber soldier, really tried and true. And then finally you got My Meme is True, who we refer to as Mons, who will be a Ramatra one trick. Pulled out a little bit of Hog to go against Sage. Didn't work, but he tried it. And it was the most competitive game.
Alright, the coin flip has decided heads.
Alright, we wait for Fika Time to pick a control map. T1 was here first, so they did get a call. So looking at these two teams, T-Good. Ooh, JP3 Reigns with the Prime sub. Thank you, JP3 Reigns. You're an alright dude on Thursdays. Looking at these two teams, T-Good. Absolutely zero surprises from either side. Actually, the Chandra Torb is a little spooky, and Cyber on the Lucio is a little bit new. But Lazy Dog is a world-renowned Doom one trick, just like my boy Sage. You also got Deathoof on the Genji, and then Spindle on the Juno. JP, if you want to come in and cast, you totally can. Mons is on the Ramatra. Hunta and Lemos are on Soldier and Sombra. Sparksy and Gary. Gary is the new addition to this lineup, being the sub. He is on that Lucio, so maybe we do get a move. And Sparksy on his Kiriko. He's really just a heal bot on that role, but it's really what this team needs. They don't need him to make plays, especially with Gary getting the first opening pick here. JP3 Reigns is joining us in the casting booth. How are you doing, JP? So glad to hear that. Deathoof is returning to us from that spawn room. Schindel falling low on that left side of the point, getting poked out by the Lemos on that Soldier 76. Deathoof playing pretty aggressive here, going after that Lucio in the back line. And Hunter will... Oh, there's JP.
Right? Hi.
No, no, no. I asked you a question, I didn't get an answer. How are you doing today, JP?
You know, it's a great day.
It's always a good day when there's Overwatch. That's a lie.
If it's good or bad.
It's always a bad day when there's Overwatch. JP3 reigns. Since it is the in-between fight and Fika time are actually kind of playing extremely well right now. Who do you want to play in the finals, since it is ultimately you playing the winner of this game in the finals?
You know, like I said in the last interview, I really want to see either of these teams. I wanna have them at their full strength. You know,
And speaking of full strength, Hunter with a pick with a follow-up from Nomos.
I know that's this game. G1 just kind of seems to be staggering in little by little every time here and not really getting a lot.
Yeah, Fika time just seems more well prepared for this game. Where in the game versus you and the game versus me, or I guess it was the game versus Bread Dog and T1, it kind of felt like Hunter and Lemos were just out of sync for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean they seem to be having those comms back in and doing well today. And they're gonna have both of their first ults online with the Advisor and the Kitsune.
Yeah, Kitsune does come out, and Hunter dies right before she can use EMP, although Mons gets a quick and follow-up pick. He's gonna find a second.
Yeah, if you are T1 though, you will take this. You get, you forked out 2 ults from them, but it's 70%. And now they have EMP and beat, and now Ramatra time.
Yeah, usually if it was like the T1 we're used to, T1 would have ults up for this next fight. They have Genji Blade going into this. They should build up 2 or 3 more. But with this EMP coming out super early, that might do them in.
No, I mean that.
No, it definitely does do that.
Unless
comes
Lazy
out.
Dog goes absolutely crazy here.
Which he can. We've seen him do it. Chandra pops his ult.
That
This
is a
shield
good
goes
rally.
down. Yeah, it was a great rally, and the zoning noon was kind of huge, unironically, but Hunter gets a pick onto Chandra.
Yeah, I think it's a little too little, too late.
Deathloop with the Genji Blade.
Bonkers on his blade. Let's miss the dash reset and
Yeah, just like
be it.
McDonald's, that Genji Blade was kind of mid.
It's funny because he has the McDonald's skin.
Yeah, it's so nice of the Overwatch League to promote working at McDonald's.
Only if it's in the Pentagon.
And in Florida.
I mean, to the game, that was a very dominant showing from Fika time.
Yeah, that was
Is it in there?
crazy.
I thought
Yeah,
it was Fika.
you guys always come and say Fika time, and it's like, no.
No, it's Fika. Yeah, that's my bad.
It's Fika time.
Like the
It's
fucking Rainbow Six Siege character.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the translation is snack time.
And Lazy Dog coming out on the Hog, and Deathtooth now on the Junkrat.
Yeah, this is
Isn't
huge.
the
We've
one
seen
that
him.
You said was trying to bring out the Hog against the Doomfist before.
No, that was Mons. My mood is true.
Ah,
Yes.
Yeah, but Lazy Dog over here on the Hog should be a pretty exciting pick because he's such a good player. I feel like he can really just play anything, especially with an early pick on the Hunter right there.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about a little bit is getting around those Ramatra shields. Until he kind of gets a hook, he's kind of just walking.
Glorified soldier.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mons with 3 this fight, absolutely going crazy. T1 does get point control. Hunter does get picked in the meantime, but it's a even fight from my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, Lazy Dog should be able to stall here quite a bit, especially with his own self-heal and a Juno keeping him up.
Oh, he's in the hole!
Garrett gets that.
yes! The boop kill!
All right.
Should
That's
still
what
be
we
able
were
to.
waiting for.
I mean, they should still be able to kind of stagger here, just keep touching if they really want to.
I think they give up, and
Like they
Chandra,
want to.
Chandra's gonna fall. It is Mons really being able to come into his own against this Roadhog pretty early and pretty consistently.
Yeah.
They were able to get 30% out of it, though.
Yeah, that's huge, especially considering you were fighting a team fight the entire time.
Yeah. I get why Cyber is on this break, but I just don't feel like it's getting a lot of value. You're not able to get close enough to land those whip shots.
Yeah, but Hunta's
Get
only
that
at
in the spot.
60% to EMP. She's not been able to do a whole lot this round.
No, and I think that's more been on Chandra and Lazy Dog getting those. Oh, big
Melted.
Now, just blown up.
And there we go, Cyber with the kill on Hunta.
Yeah, and what a turnaround from T1.
I mean, dry fight and a win. They only get 3 more capture percentage off of it, and now they force Hunta off of the Sombra over to the Sojourn.
Yeah, I think they might know Deathoof is here. No, they definitely, oh, nope, Hunta does find it out.
He is able to retreat back, but an early pick onto Soldier is,
It's detrimental.
yeah, I mean,
It's massive,
just gonna be-
especially because Soldier's the only one on their team that had ult in that instance.
Yeah, you're realistically looking at one more fight here for point.
They're gonna have to bring out Ramatra time.
Yeah,
they,
expect
they might just have to beat Ramatra time and speed it down mid.
I really wouldn't hate it.
I mean,
Deathoof
Deathoof
might
put
be
a
going
lot
for
of
something
pressure.
here.
What a big ult, though. That's gonna find, what is it? Is it just Gary
It's
off
not
the
gonna
map?
find anybody, but it's just gonna
Oh,
force
shoot.
everybody so far back.
Yeah, but this Riptire could be huge. Hunta spots it, and the Lemos, yeah, he trades.
One
The
for
only
one on
person
the
to
jump
not get
front.
the beat there. Oh, the very
And
early
Juno.
beat.
Oh,
Now
but
there's the
Cyber
dice.
goes down!
He goes down
In the
anyway.
hole!
Kill!
Gary gets to that fight. That was a very expensive team fight from both teams. The only ult not used was Visor.
What do you mean you can't hear JP or T good? Are they quiet or you can't hear them?
When I did listen, T Good was quiet, so I wonder if you just have us turned down.
I do often yell a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm turned down.
Alright, both of you talk.
Hello.
I like turtles.
Okay. Or turn up T good just a little bit more.
The break does get run down into this fight. Oh, but they trade for the tank. The hook into the pit is massive.
Yeah, but even bigger than that is Hunta and Lemos use their signature combo.
Well, no, because it's not EMP Visor. It's Overclock Visor.
No, but throwing both ults in together, they're gonna find a pick onto Cyber here too, on the back of Gary.
Don't think they're gonna be able to touch now unless the only person that should have would have been
Not
Lazy
Sindel.
Dog, or
Sindel on the Lucio.
Lazy Dog gets-
forcing his way
Oh.
to the point.
He gets the
just
hole.
barely gets there.
Another hook into the hole.
And Gary with the I thought Gary got the third boop this map.
No, but Hunta does clean up the kill. Chandra on that backside, falling super low. Gary with the pick.
And Jared was telling me that there wouldn't be any boob kills this game.
Neither of these
playing into
teams
the
play
double hit scan
Lucio.
and gets big beat to save Gary and Sparksy and the Lelmos. Unless
Yeah.
he just gets beat up by a Brig. This is reminding me of Goat's Brig right now.
Yeah, just 2 supports remaining on the point. Cyber will go down, and Lazy Dog has returned to his home.
I would have liked to see Lazy Dog maybe roll out on that Doomfist. I feel like he could have gotten maybe a little more value.
Yeah, and Fika time, taking map number 1.
Pretty dominant display here.
Yeah, this is not the Fika time we saw play Bread Dog, and this is not the T1 we saw play AFN at all.
My
That
God.
Kitsune was just very, very big in that small room. Everybody's able to get that speed boost.
Yeah, there's no kidding about that. I mean, just an absolutely crazy showing today from Fika time really early in the match. Hopefully they can keep this momentum up, because Lord knows they're going to need it.
Yeah, and I'd like to see T1 just go back to what they're comfortable with. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to play cute. This is for a spot in the finals. Play what you've played all season, because it got you a 7-0 record, and you're currently now 8-1,
Yep.
and that one loss you didn't have Lazy Dog.
Yeah, but they did have Pulsar, and he's not a total bum, but obviously he doesn't bring the same momentum that Lazy Dog brings to the team.
Exactly, you know.
Pulsar, of course, being a very competent tank player.
Oh no, I mean it's no disrespect to Pulsar.
No, not at
I'm not
all.
trying to imply that.
Not at all. I just don't want Spry thinking I'm shitting on his player. He's gonna call me mean names. Schindle's gonna break up with me.
You already have like 8 wives.
Yeah, but it's different when they're dudes.
Yeah, most of them are.
Yeah. Then there's like 3 chicks, but that's okay. Oh, he calls them worse. Spindle for the prime sub, my goat. Now we are going to see a King's Row come out from T1
The very classic map. I feel like we see this
every game.
every week. Yeah.
Hey, but there's a good reason for that.
I don't feel like we saw it in our T1 game.
I saw it, mainly because we called it.
No, we did, but there's
Oh, no,
definitely
no,
a game I
like,
played.
AFN saw it because we chose it.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely a game I've played that we have not played Kings Row. Well, anyway, we got about 10 seconds here till we get the composition picks. Is there anything in particular you're wanting to see or expecting to see out of these teams?
Yeah, low res Vendetta. It's a huge callback. Max is going to beat me to death with a piece of metal if I don't show low res Vendetta. But here you go, Max. This is your moment. I'm actually expecting. Oh, yep, there we go. Hunter on the Ash, no, it's on the Torb. This has kind of been synonymous with this game or with this map for them.
Yes, I remember the first time we played them on this map. Just Hunter being able to kind of sit back on that either that hotel side or that far back high ground in the window, just putting out so much damage. Albeit at that time she did have a Mercy Pocket. Now they have a Lucio, which is going to change things a little bit.
Yeah, a little interesting, but Deathoof on the Torb, and then they're actually matching DPS comps. Sindel still on that Juno, but Lazy Dog on the Ryan. We saw this in his game versus AFN. It was a pretty good matchup for him, and Cyber on that Ana, which I think you'll like a lot better than that Brig.
I will. I just don't love Brig into a brawl comp, especially with a Ramatra, because she's just able to punch through those shields and just not
Really mitigate whatever he can do.
Well, and, yeah, Death Oof with a big early pick, and now they're just gonna run in. They're gonna speed in and run him down.
Yeah, but Nullus with a
they do
counter pick.
trade.
I kind of want to see Gary get off this Lucio here, but now that they're evened up, I think he kind of has to stay it now. Hunter on that side high ground, trying to poke out T1, and Mons
They
able
were
to
get
finally
two picks for ticks for free.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. But if Mons gets a big mode, Lazy Dog's dead here.
Oh, Lazy Dog does end up falling, but they traded out somebody else, I believe.
I don't think they
It
did.
was just the turret. It was just the turret.
Oh well, that is
Turret
someone.
got
Oh no, Nullus got traded. That's what it was. You can see his short, stubby legs walking back from spawn.
Ah, yes, there it is.
But Deathoof,
Deathoof finds Hunter, and that's going to be another stagger on the side for Fika time, so should just be able to kind of do what they've done and just speed in, let
Yeah,
that
they will
Reinhardt
cap here.
swing. And I mean, just look at the ult percentages for the supports of T1. They both already have ult, and with that increased Juno ult, it does so much, it requires so much more healing.
yeah, the issue here though is Gary, like you said, T1 has support ults, and Gary is gonna swap, which is the right pick. He was only 50% to B, and he just kept getting picked early in fights.
I do like this. I do like the bat pick here. The immortality I think is a very good ult, and if you're able to min-max it, he's basically a third DPS.
Honestly, I would even hate to see him go Zen here, and just
Zen, yeah. I mean, Ramatra definitely has enough sustainability to sustain that Discord orb, but I wonder if you value the window more for turret. Ooh, big slam coming out for Lazy Dog.
Yeah, all but secures the fight.
Hunta does bob, and the Lemos does
Lazy the 4-piece.
splooge.
Yeah, laying out the welcome mat.
I guess if nothing else, that
Christ stand
Bob's
corrected.
stall
The
point.
5-piece.
Yeah, but Gary gets Death Oof. That changes the whole thing. Death Oof has a frog?
There was two. I mean, hey, learning more about him all the time.
The lore.
But I mean, that was only a 2-ult fight from T1. Kitsune's coming in.
Kitsune.
Oh, Nellis on the Bastion though, and Hunter on that Sojourn now. I don't know if we covered that, but we have
Ooh,
now.
but
Almost gone immediately.
Ooh, big
Yeah.
nano. Very
Tra-
good sustain.
Trading DPS for DPS, but Lazy Dog's just able to walk on that backline since Mons kind of just had to fortify. And speaking of fortify, I wouldn't hate to see him swap to Orisa here. That's what I would definitely do, but I also am known for playing every tank in every single map.
You know, I don't hate the Sojourn pick from Hunta, but I'd really like to see a Mei. She has a very good Mei in her pocket, and to maybe help isolate that Rhine a little bit from his supports.
Yeah, he's able to play so greedy.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely utilizing the longer line of sights that his supports have.
And Chandra can kind of just sit on his high ground for free now. And she's gonna, or she are gonna have that bob. The
Unless
Nemesis gets the
Nelmos has
headshot,
something to say about it.
and he gets instantly shatter killed for it. Oh, I thought he got that pin onto him.
Yeah, no, but
Lazy is
Sparksy
just
hits
able
it.
to play so aggressively with his supports.
Does finally get punished there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the first time he's been punished in, what, 4 team fights?
Yeah, and
I
kind
wonder
of,
if that was a misclick.
I would think so.
That has to be.
That was a weird ult.
It's gonna cost them a lot since now they're gonna have to work so hard to get that Juno ult back.
And like I said earlier, they recently changed it to where it requires a lot more.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be
Pain
too
to
bad.
build a Juno ult.
I don't expect it to be too bad though. They do have 2 DPS ults online, and they should be able to get a nano here soon. Hunter not finding any value with this overclock at all.
I mean, buying, maybe a little bit more time to space it out, 20 seconds or so. A
Bob in the
bob
back
into
line.
the back line, though,
Bob.
is going to be massive.
Yeah, they
Bob
find
is
3 off the
wrecking
back of it.
havoc. Oh no.
Well, Gore comes out, but
Now
it's...
there's the... Now the nano.
Excellent use of the Torbolt to cover up the Kitsune.
And they finish with almost 3 minutes on the time bank.
Yeah, really
This
just...
is the T1 I wanted to see.
This is the T1 we know and expect. You don't get to 8-1, you don't get 7-0 in the regular season by just bumming around.
We're gonna call that first. We're gonna call that first map a warm-up round.
Definitely looked like it.
They're looking like Bread Dog out there, struggling on that first point, and then really coming alive for that second one. I don't want to take away too much credit from what Fika Time did, but it wasn't 99-100 on the second round of Ilios.
Well, to take away any credit from what Fika Time did, they didn't do anything on defense.
They won one or two team fights.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, 2 team fights and like half a team fight to like stall .1.
I think it comes down to that Gary on that Lucio, and when he switched over to the BAP, I think they did a little better.
Well, the issue now is, okay, we are going to see Hunter play that Mei, but I don't like Mons on the Ramat or Mauga here. Mauga got nerfed into the ground. He was struggling in normal games. He was good in pro play because they knew how to abuse the damage reduction. He's bad everywhere else. And now he's
Now
really
doesn't have
bad.
The damage reduction.
No, he's absolute garbage. He's like, gee whiz, he's in his own tier right now.
There's every other tank, and then there's the Mauga tier. Except now it's an insult to be in the Mauga tier. And look at that, he's already dead.
Yeah, you have no way to sustain yourself because Lazy Dog has such a huge shield. You stand there and you shoot it, but it doesn't go anywhere.
And I'm just a little confused on why Memes is not playing the Ramatra, because it theoretically is a decent pick into the Reinhardt.
I mean, I'd much prefer it to the Malga, but either match the Ryan here or play horse.
I think Orisa would not be a bad shout here either.
Not at all, but who knows what's in Mon's hero pool since we've only seen him play Ramatra for the entirety of his games.
You know, there was a little bit of time he tried some different stuff against Bread Dog, but I don't know how much success. That's a big wall, and I think Memes
He overshoots it.
Overshoot it. But the anti coming out.
He did get antied, but it doesn't look like it's gonna do a whole lot.
And Tristan's favorite character finds 2 in the back line and the turret.
Yeah, Tristan's favorite character, played by his favorite little guy who he knows oh so well in Lemos. Max with the hydrate, drinking my milk with an E.
Well, as much as we were bad-mouthing the Malga, it did win them the point.
I feel like it was more on heroics of Hunter and Lemos there.
I'm gonna say I think it was the double turret kill in the back line. But I mean, look at the ult percentages. The Malga's at 65% to Shatter. Albeit, yes, Shatter builds is a very fast ult, and that's exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, especially what a huge shatter into the Kitsune. Wait, this actually lazy.
Very poorly timed Blizzard.
Thought maybe you could. Oh, they are gonna catch him on the rotate. And now they're able to hold this choke, and I think this is gonna be a very, very difficult spot for Fika time to push through.
Max, your bones are as brittle as a dry tree branch. I don't want to hear it.
I would say, oh, they're gonna have Cage, which can be a very impactful ultimate, but
did that also get nerfed?
Probably.
It
yeah.
did, and
yeah.
they had bull support ults to just keep Lazy Dog up through it.
That was just tragic. It was such a good setup from Hunter, and then they pressed the let's not let them win button. And Deathu pressing that a lot.
And then they get the stagger onto Sparksy, which is going to take them down to about 3 minutes here.
Levels gets picked too.
It's just proving way too difficult for them to break through.
Yeah, this is what we saw from Fika Time versus Bread Dog earlier last week, where Hunter and Lemos really weren't able to play.
Hunter with the pick on Chandra
another
though, big slam.
Interesting cage, but it actually is huge because it isolates Schindel and makes it so Cyber can't do any healing. Although the entirety of Fika Time's backline kind of just got collapsed on, and all
Cyber
the
does
good.
manage to get one.
Yeah, Fine's probably the biggest pick there, getting Sparksy. That means no cleanse for this nade.
No cleanse for the nade, and like
I mean, just no life for Fika Time right now.
Yeah, they know Nilemos is back here too. He's not being slick.
He will manage to get out, and I do like what Nilemos is trying to do, where he's trying
Hunter
to...
on the Hanzo? Has anybody ever seen this?
Maybe it's in customs, never in a tournament, and...
The Malga is just not working.
No, he needs to swap. It's not it, King.
Like, I hate to say it, but it's like he's giving them the fight every time he hits the charge button.
Yeah, it's like Max when
like
she has lactose.
I feel like I'm, you know, in a ranked game, and I got that one.
I know what you're gonna say.
That just doesn't do anything.
Well, Hunter at least finds the Ana in the back.
But doesn't get the kill.
No,
And
it's
I mean, now they
unfortunate.
Almost gets killed in the process.
Now they have Juno ult again.
And Shatter.
Another slam. They're
Get
down goes the
Sparksy.
Reaper. Anyone realize that they had a Reaper?
They just swapped. I would have liked to maybe see him stick on that soldier.
I would like to see
Because-
Mon swap. They're swapping all the wrong pieces.
I feel like the way you beat this Reinhardt composition is either A, be better in Brawl in it, or B, outflank it. Because Ryan only has a shield that can face one direction.
He is finally swapping to the Ramatra, but I think it's honestly too late.
I mean, because now you have both support ults on the side of T1. You have Splooge, and you're gonna have Bob with one good dynamite. Noelmo's over to the Pharah?
Okay.
I feel like I'm playing Mystery Heroes with Pi.
This is the Pi team. And you got JP on the flank right there.
Both support ults come out.
JP nanos themselves, makes it so...
I get one. Cyber is doing his best JP impression.
Bro, what did Fika time cook? It's burnt. Snack time's over.
Bro's looking like Raiden in the kitchen.
This was like a completely different team walked out of the spawn room.
Yeah, it's... I have no way to describe how I'm feeling.
Like, we might have some good games of Overwatch.
I know.
If we get the Fika time from map 1 and the T1 from map 2, this is going to be a hell of a game.
Something in my gut is telling me that that's not what's about to happen.
We will see Fika, Fika time pick the escort map here.
That is correct, JP.
And I'm trying to think what to take him to, because I know Lazy Dog has a very good Doomfist, which is kind of good for those divey maps and with Death Oof onto the Genji and that kind of stuff.
Well, you don't want range, but the issue with that is all the escort maps are ranged.
Right? I mean, what? Maybe 66 would fit Fika time the best?
Maybe, but even then, I don't think it's the right one.
I mean, would you rather see them go to, like, Dorado?
Eh?
And
Junkertown is not what I would choose. Well, I don't know, actually. If you can get to point 2 and 3, it's pretty close quarter.
Yeah. Well, they said Junkertown, and they're like Blizzard World, but Blizzard World is a hybrid map. We did see Fika time take Bread Dog to this map, where neither team could defend, and it went into OT. I'm trying to remember what they played.
That was the hog map.
That was the hog map where Sage came out on the Junker Queen. Maybe that's what they're gonna go into now? As far as we go into T1, I don't know if they're gonna run out with that Brawl composition again, or if they're gonna try to come back on the Doomfist.
Well, what I do know is I'm being yelled at in chat for trying to do my job and get things set up and not redeeming all the hydrates, which I will do now.
You better be chugging for like a minute.
I better hear the glorpin.
Nah, Discord's sound block too good.
They get it ready for both teams, so we're hopping into the map right now.
We are going in. Which is huge, because Junkertown... I don't like Junkertown. I actually really dislike Junkertown. I just like all the escort maps, though. Like, Watchpoint's pretty cool. But outside of that, like, I could go
Wait,
without...
you call it Watchpoint and not Gibby?
You've known me for how long?
Almost 3 years at this point.
A little longer than that, buddy.
It's actually not. We've only known each other like 3 years.
No, definitely. What, you meant Addy in 21?
No, maybe. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah.
Not as old as Tristan, but I'm old.
I know.
Fuck you.
I know you want to, honey.
Spry, you're a widow one trick. I don't want to hear it. You don't get a vote. I play the real role. Oh, Max, that's whose Bean is the goat. Let your cat speak to the people.
Your cat has a message that must be delivered.
So we are gonna see T1 come out on the Doomfist composition with Deathtooth on the Widow.
Not the Vidowmaker.
But Cyber's going over to the Kiri, outside Kitsune, instead of the Ana. And, oh, okay, I was gonna say, Fika is coming out on the tried and true double big heal Sombra Soldier Ramatra.
I was like, I don't see a Sombra, I see a May.
But now they're on the May, which I don't know if that. I don't think it really changes a lot.
I don't
other
think
than
it's
maybe the ability.
I don't think it's the right pick here. I'm gonna be honest.
Deathtooth with a big pick on Sparksy.
Is it bad to say I'd almost like to see the Hanzo come back out?
Is it bad to say I want to see the Hunter Widowmaker? Yeah.
Wait a minute,
yeah,
it might work.
They found 2, found 3.
Yeah,
And
almost.
Hunter's already 70 to that Blizzard.
Yeah, almost just trying to catch up, but unable to.
Completely walling off Deathtooth.
Yeah, hasn't really found a whole lot of value quite yet, but I expect to see a big shot soon.
Well, Deathtooth did get that first pick on Sparksy. There we go, now one on Nelmo.
Solo Blizzard onto Sandra.
Yeah, they don't even get the pick.
cleansed and no kill out of it.
Red with the pick on Hunter.
Yeah, this
I
is.
think the Doomfist is great for the recontest here, but might struggle a little bit.
Roll.
Another pick on the Sparksy.
It's looking pretty good for the entire thing right now. Honestly, Hunter should probably just get back on the Sombra.
Probably. It was looking good at the start here, but...
Going
Did she
off
try
of what
Sombra?
my resident Doomfist one trick Sage said is the most annoying to play against. It's Cass, it's Sombra, and it's either Orisa or Zarya.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then obviously Ana for the
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter tried to take that one-on-one against Shkabindle. And Chandra comes around the side, joins in, stops the pick from going through.
Darcy needs to be careful here.
They trade DPS for DPS and force out the Doom ult.
Yeah, doesn't find a whole lot, just kind of keeps Lazy Dog alive and around.
Target selection there. Ooh, Lazy Dog
Poor
is
Gary.
flying Gary after he pops the Kitsune.
Yeah, this.
Darcy misses the sleep on Lazy
Ooh,
Dog.
Nano, Visor, and Kitsune. It should be absolutely crazy.
By crazy you mean
Doesn't
finds
matter.
too.
That is a very expensive team fight, but it should be enough to cap. They should have had picks late.
No, they have 3. T1 can totally recontest this if they want.
If they just 3-stack it
And
in,
they
they
just
should
don't.
get it, but they get it.
I would have touched. Put
I
Sindel
mean,
on the
Lazy
cart,
Dog
ult that.
just got here.
Yeah, but that's Doomfist, man. He gets anywhere. You know, Nolos really likes to slide on these rooftops.
I was gonna say there's a little bit of interesting tech there from Hunter being able to wall off on that cart up to high ground. Didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah.
But if they're able to stop it right here, you're gonna have such a nasty crossfire with this double hit scan.
Yeah, Sparksy currently trying to act like Lazy Dog is just a schizo demon.
Contra time might be enough to... Yeah, it is going to be enough to get Lazy Dog here.
Yeah, definitely secures the first pick. Sindel will be the second. You still have that Death Hoof on the high ground, though. Especially with him securing the pick on Milamos.
He does manage to get out.
That's so hype for him.
Really good coach gun usage there.
Yeah, and Gary on that, trying to secure the pick, just barely gets forced out. Death Hoof is rejoining the fray. Absolutely claps Gary with that ult. Gets the second pick onto Sparksy. Death Hoof will help secure the third onto Hunta. And with Bob getting Mons, that is number 4. Nalamos is... He might get out of this. Especially that pick onto Death Hoof. But Lazy Dog has come behind him.
Yeah, and now this is going to be a very difficult point to come through.
Interesting Blizzard from Hunta here. It really
It does
just
give them the high ground for free and forces Lazy Dog into maybe a bit of a bad position. And that's an ult from Sandra.
Sandra. Cassandra?
Sorry, I'm thinking about my ex-wife.
That's okay. Too good right here.
I had no idea my new name was Sandra.
No, that's alright. They do get quite a cheeky wall off, and it does help get the pick on Sindel.
Big ante though, good lord.
Yeah, that...
Yeah, but Gary gets absolutely rolled. But it should be too little too late, as Cyber will be the next to fall. Death Hoof just kind of wandering away.
Oh no. We spoke it into existence. The Orisa has come.
You know,
No, but-
where's the Hanzo? I want the Hanzo to ride it into battle.
Yeah, why can't we have the Reinhardt buff?
Because that would actually make Reinhardt good.
No, you're so right.
Devs don't want that in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, they don't want me to make Lazy Dog DC by pinning him for 5 minutes.
You'd probably get pinned for 5 minutes.
No, I did on this map. I sent Hunter the VOD to review.
You are the reason why we can't have nice things.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware, but it was a ball, so it was fine. You know, it's not okay.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah, Chandra is playing pretty aggressive at this flank. It actually, wait, what? We see a Death Hoof Junkrat here now. That is not okay. I don't like that.
Another noon.
Really
No.
ballsy noon.
It makes the space so they turn to look at him, and Lazy Dog is able to find the picks.
Yeah, 4 ults for this next fight for the side of Fika Times. Just a measly 2 for the side of T1.
Well, one of them is Doom ult, so.
Yeah, one of them was buying a Morays, which does come out to try and...
That felt like it might have been a fat finger.
I probably wasn't, but it did get the Doom ult out.
Death Hoof?
Yeah, huge Riptire here.
Where's Tristan? It needs to solo tire him.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know
sub
what?
him in real quick.
I was gonna say,
Every
of everybody in this match, I do feel like Milamos is the most comparable to Tristan. The dueling Kitsunes, Visor.
Yeah, does he touch? Oh, he did touch. Okay.
Which Kitsune wins? The one that has the machine gun with it.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe that was a bit of an over ult from Fika time. I don't feel like you needed to commit the nano to that as well.
Yeah, the nano
Oh,
tack
definitely
visor
an
with the Kitsune rule.
overadjustment.
I'm glad they won the fight, but like,
But now they have nothing going into this next fight.
Just
and,
like Junker
they're about
Queen.
to have Juno ult.
just like Junker Queen says, you gotta hit him with a brick. Chandra will get a pick onto Mons, and that should
Double
be it.
should be enough. I mean, ended up being a pretty respectable push here. Basically 93 meters. I'll just give him 93 meters.
Nah, you gotta round it down. That's 92.
Yeah, he's right. Now, if they had .06 more meters, JP, I'd give it to you. Actually, if they had a tenth of more meter, I'd give it to you. Because then you could round up even more. We love rounding up.
Oh yeah, we love rounding up. Except when it doesn't make mathematical sense.
Yeah, we hate that. We hate rounding up. We'll round down even.
We'll round all around.
Yeah, just because of UJP, now they're only at 9 meters.
Okay,
9.
they're
That's
at
like
0.
divided by 10.
You know what,
They didn't
JP?
even touch the cart.
Because of that, JP, we're rounding 2 down to 0. They got 0 points.
Are you happy with yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
Of course you are.
I do like this double hit scan look from the side of Fika time.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world, but Sparcy on the Juno. You see, I taught that guy how to play Juno, which means it's gonna go terribly.
Oh no.
I'm not trying to be
Also,
mean to
the
Jared, but
Amari.
Jared not known for his support.
I did hit GM on it.
Oh, nope, switches to the Kiriko. Gonna keep the Moira, though.
Yeah, Mon's really just being target practice for Deathtooth right now. And Lizardog does get the first pick onto the Lemos round there. Ooh, so close to falling, but Mons just can't do enough.
They do get Malamos. He should be back relatively quick with the sprint, but
Yeah, but Deathtooth on this side pick gets off. What a shot on Gary.
Good
and
lord.
that's such a small hit scan, like it's such a small head box. But I do feel like this part of the map is going to be a struggle for T1 with this composition. I feel like it's going to be hard to get in with the
That was Cyber securing a pick on to Mons and Laserdog with Sparksy.
And as I say that, they kind of just roll into it.
Yeah, Sindel on that Moira now.
Very strong first part of the map. A full 5 minutes in the time bank going into this second section.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too good about this if I'm Fika time right now.
It's a little reminiscent of that Bread Dog game where they just were not able to
Yeah.
defend.
What's more upsetting about that is we saw Fika time put it together for a really good map.
Yeah. Honda does switch over to the Sombra, and she does manage to get the crit kill in the virus onto the Coaling Moira.
And managed to hack her out of her coal.
Yeah, should get out here.
I like this look a little bit more from Fika time. Not
I do
necessarily
too.
putting the all of the pressure onto their tank, where both the soldier and the Sombra can really do a lot to make space and be annoying and have people look at them that their tank is then able to capitalize on. I feel like that's been their strategy for winning, is having these flankers that go out and pressure the backline so then they turn the peel and their tank can walk up and kill people.
Yeah, I never want to see Hunter off this Sombra. I mean, it's just too impactful to really justify it.
You know, I thought her May was good on King's Row. She had some really good walls and
It's
stuff.
just not the same though. Especially because it enables Nellis to get more space here.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it is even currently, but Lazy Dog should more than likely go down here.
Unless he's just that good.
Nah, he's just that good.
It isn't even 3-on-3 fight with the attackers having spawn advantage. Now it's a 4-on-3.
Yeah, but I think this EMP is probably
That
the
is gonna
biggest
be a
thing there.
big hack. Doesn't manage to get him out of the block. Maybe would have liked to see a little patience there. Does manage to kill it, though, so it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, but the EMP here is huge. Hits 3, I believe.
It does hit 3. They're able to get 1 pick out of it. They've already bled 2+ minutes off of this clock.
Yeah, and Lazy Dog switches over to that JQ.
I do like this.
I do too. This is what we see him play when he can't play that Doomfist, and obviously Hunt on the Sombra makes that very difficult. Lomos will be the next to fall. Gary and Sparksy recently fell during the fight. Mon's looking like he's going to die to Chandra here. And Hunta is just sneaking around the backside.
Does stall the cart a little bit, so I mean, you'll take the death.
Yeah,
But now they have Juno ult, and
oh, but Gary with the pick on Sindel on the Brig. Cyber's a really good Brig, but Sindel I don't know about. That's new to me.
the spear does cancel the ult. Hunter manages to touch, and now it's kind of an ult fest on point. Oh, what a play from the Reaper to TP out of the ult.
Yeah, and a really bad Kitsune from Cyber.
Yeah, that was...
No,
And now they're
that
off the
was
Brig over
very,
to the
very
Lucio?
bad.
Beats me, man.
Also, don't know when, but Deathoof is almost has an overclock. Don't know when they switched.
Yeah, it's been basically since Hunta swapped. Just slightly after that. I do like this ult from Lomos here. There's absolutely nothing for the side of T1 except for Chandra just straight up winning that.
Literally just walked into Nelmos and got him.
You know, I may give you cheats.
That's,
What? I don't know.
That's right, JP. It may give you cheese. Very insightful. Our very own JP Reigns, everybody.
Yeah. Don't worry, this guy's in the finals.
Yeah, he made it over
This
me.
worries
somehow.
me.
I promise you, he knows what he's talking about 5% of 100% of the time.
What do you mean?
This is some Anchorman logic.
It's Little's logic. That's a Little quote.
What do you mean? Everybody knows I'm known for my game sense and not my mechanical ability.
Yeah, clearly. That's why you have to play so far up, because you can't hit your shots.
No, there's nobody expects it, and then they get antied, and then I go boom, shakalaka.
That's right. What's also unexpected, though, Mons gets the spear charge, which I do like.
I don't know how to feel about it. Like, Hunter does find Deathoof in the backline, so like I said, that those double flankers now allow that tank to just kind of roll.
And the hack on a Cyber should all but secure the pick on it. There it goes.
And now it's down to a minute for T1. You got one, maybe two fights.
I'd probably call it 1.5.
It kind of depends on how much value Lazy Dog is able to find with this Queen ult. If he gets speared, you know, nothing. That is Kitsune, or that's cleansed, I think. Does find 3 with it.
Good value out of the ult.
Yeah, but I believe it was a bit of an over ult. You used 3 there.
Yeah, but if Melmos goes down here, it's kind of curtains.
I think they're just gonna try to 3-stack it.
Depends.
Hunter does
Yep,
have
they
EMP.
get the pick.
Can wait just
Does
a second
touch.
longer.
Huge
Huge EMP comes out, finds 4.
Does find 4. The Reaper Blossom finds 1. I feel like Memes.
I
might
think
have
this is
missed
enough.
with their
It's
ult.
enough.
Oh shoot, did Mons ult before the EMP?
Yep.
No, he ulted too far back in the EMP.
What?
He ulted almost at their spawn room door. He ulted kind of near that throne and didn't probably get the combo they were looking for.
That is so upsetting, because that was such a winnable fight, especially with Sparksy. He was 10% off his ult. That's all. That's how far they were away from winning that map.
Yeah, but that was some good Overwatch right there. That I will agree is good Overwatch.
That definitely was an Overwatch game of all time.
One play difference, and it's a different game, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Fika wins that.
Fortunately, I believe this is a better map type for Fika time going into push.
Or Flash, you know. I don't know which we've seen more of. I
I don't-
don't believe there's been a lot of games that have even gone for maps.
I think it's just AFN versus Fika time.
USA. Bread Dog USA. We went
Oh,
far.
yeah, play-ins also used playoff rules. That's my bad. But you'd have to be a freak to go to Flashpoint.
I love Flashpoint. I think it suits Bread Dog much better. And they do pick Colosseo.
Yeah, but you're very bad at push, as we've seen that consistently throughout the season.
Have we? I legitimately have no idea. I've
Oh
played
yeah,
like a
no,
third
it's
of my
it's
games
statistically Sage's worst map.
Unfortunately, I do have to go. I do have other plans this evening, so I will not be able to cast this full game. I'll leave you in the very capable hands of T Good and whatever Jared's doing.
Yeah, report JP for being a bum. Have fun with your plans as the real gamers get it on.
Hope you all show up for the finals. It'll be lit.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute banger. Good night.
Good night, JP. Now we are ready, T Good. Now that weirdo's gone. The real casting can start. Fika Time is on the verge of losing it all. Falling to a fate worse than second place. Third place. You don't even get to go to the finals.
Yeah, I agree. Bronze is such a crappier color than silver.
I agree. I agree. It's like the color of poop. No one wants poop. You want chrome poop. Although I will say you don't win anything for coming in second or third. Winner, of course, does get a trophy, which will be funded by the money brought from the Goonginga streams. I don't know if you knew that, T-Good.
You know what? No, Jared. I can't say I did.
So, early on, we do see a very... Oh, God, what the hell is that team? So, we have Cancer versus also Cancer.
This is gonna be great.
We have, like, colon cancer versus kidney cancer. Oh, now we have lung cancer. Doomfist just made it worse. Adding Doomfist to this team is, like, the worst kind of cancer. But this Bastion here should do quite a bit against Mons' little tiny baby shield. And Hunter gets slept in the backline too good. And just absolutely rolled. Feels bad, Hunter.
We get F's in the chat for Hunter.
Then we might have to. Mons.
Actually, you know what? No, no F's. Type triple Z.
Mons is actually going to somehow stay up during that, and Hunter and Nalos get picks onto the counter of their DPS line. This should be big enough to kind of flip the point here a little bit. Hopefully they can get a little bit of a lead off that.
A bit, yeah.
Lazy Dog dies. Overextends into hell. Chandra is swapping over to that Mick Cassidy. And Lazy Dog returns to the fray.
And there we go. There's the lead.
Yeah, not a super far lead yet, but Cyber is on that low ground currently, trying to do the JP maneuver.
Death on the Hunter.
Yeah, that's a huge pick for Deathoof right there.
Almost getting dangerously low, and then Lazy to finish it off.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with the ult there from Lazy Dog. T1 has already won this fight by kind of a...
Gary. There we go.
Hunter also trying to die.
Deathoof has really had Hunter's number.
Yeah, it's been pretty tragic for Hunter these past few maps. It really feels like T1 is kind of just counter-comping specifically for that Sombra.
Well, when they see how effective it's been the last couple of team fights.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hunter gets the revenge, though.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna matter as Hunter is not even the last one alive.
He does manage to get 2 before going down, but it's not going to really matter when you're already getting to the first checkpoint.
No, so it means on the clock. That means T1's needed 3 minutes to push it half of the distance. I mean, that's not good news, especially with Hunter going down there too.
It's almost like I'm starting to agree with you. I feel like they are targeting Hunter.
Well, the only one playing aggressive for the side of T1 is just Lazy Dog, which all they need to do is have Lazy play a little aggressive. The rest of the team turns around. Hunter is just on an island then. Well, swaps over that Torb and falls immediately. I mean, Fika Time's just having a hell of a time. And what gets worse here is they're at that point in the map where they can win team fights because they have that spawn advantage. But they can't win that middle fight. So they'll just be in this perpetual cycle of getting back to the middle. And then just being ran out of town. T1 is getting distance on that bot again, up to 90 meters. I believe this map is, what, like 120, 130?
I think I think it's between 120 and 130. I can't remember the exact number.
They're all slightly different. Mons, that's actually a big pick on the Lazy, but trading Hunter is not great. Now, they do get to return to the middle.
Oh boy, here we go, another middle fight.
This is the big flaw about Push, though. If you even want to consider getting back into the game, you have to win like 3 team fights in a row.
Which for a lot of teams is just not something you're going to feasibly do.
No, that's why people... There was a statistic for a while, I think it was with just Overwatch League, but if you win the first like fight of Push, like 60 or 70% of the time, you win the map.
Oh yeah, because you can just roll through it.
Exactly. You build so much more
every
momentum.
meter of space that you get, that's 2 meters that the enemy has to get.
Exactly. That's why it's so much harder to really come back and push.
Well, I think we're unfortunately really seeing definitive proof of it here because we just have they just have such a strong hold on the push bot.
Yeah, and what sucks is Hunter found a 3-man EMP. They got 2 picks off of it. It's just Nullus alive. That's it.
Hunter is the only one so far that's like really getting value out of their own like EMPs.
And not even that, their own character. It really feels like the rest of Fika Time just isn't able to play the game. I hate to say it, but T1 is outclassing them in every metric right now.
Oh, and it's not even close.
No, T1 lost that first map and got really pissed off because they knew they had 7-0 season. They knew they went undefeated. They lost to Bread Dog. They want their chance to reclaim that title.
And they are showing that they deserve to have that chance at the title again.
Yeah, they're making it damn clear that nobody else should get that.
Hunter with the hack on the Chandra, though.
Yeah, once again, they might win the mid fight, but now they gotta push it 140 meters.
This is just the spiral of push. It's... You have a almost 100-meter advantage. Like, you even get a chance at getting the lead back. You're pushing it, like, at least 200 meters now.
Yeah, it is truly one of the greatest tragedies of all time. I do like the shield upgrade for Mons. That should hopefully give him a little bit more sustain, but I don't feel like it's going to be enough. Like it hasn't been the entire time. With Deathtooth laying down his Molten Core, Sparksy falls to it. Gary's low,
God,
gets
and
that TP
the
out.
fact that the Juno ult gets burnt for this too, like it's not a good ult fight.
No, but Namus is going to find two this fight, does end up going down, but this might be the little bit of Hunter goes down fighting Cyber.
Such a scrappy back and forth here.
I know.
But I don't think it's gonna matter because Lazy's already back. They haven't even gotten a meter off of it. They just burned 4 ultimates.
It really is tragic.
Another EMP.
But this one's huge. It does confirm the pick onto Lazy. Hunt does go down in the meantime, but this could be the fight that T1 really has been dreading. It also does get antied, but
I feel like if they can get this push bot around the corner here, it'll be a lot easier of a fight for them.
you'd have to hope so. You really would. Lazy Dog gets
The nano
nano.
onto Lazy. Sparksy goes down.
Yeah, it's a huge anti in the backline. Gary's 1 health. Nomos is 1 health.
And here we go. They're immediately losing all that progress that they worked for. That was like what, 4 or 5 ults being traded out, and all they got was 10 meters of progress.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like 4 or 5 fights right there.
Like, they're going to need to pull out all the stops if they even want a chance of making this into a competitive fight. Because you gotta think about it. They're already kind of going in poorly into the ult game, and they still have the butt scratch corner to deal with.
Yeah, so even if they do get a point to get to that midway, it's still so much more work to even consider getting there, especially with Lazy Dog popping his ult right here. He's not going to die. He's going to live to fight another at least like 20 seconds. This is Doomfist. He doesn't die like that. Because she's finding a big pick on Gary. That about does him in. He's going to end up getting out.
All they have to do is play the clock here.
Lazy Dog is not punishable on this Doomfist, really. He got speared and hacked, but that's not been a consistent combo. Fika Time has 1 fight, T-Good. 1 opportunity.
If this push bot even starts going the wrong direction, and they get the pick on Hunter!
Yeah, Los has that welcome mat, but that's going to have to secure them more than just this fight.
They're gonna have to win so many of the next fights in a row.
Mons gets a huge cleanse, but will go down.
Almost gets 2.
Yeah,
Will it be enough?
I don't think
Lazy
it
with the
will
pick on
be.
Sparksy.
Hunter gets nanoed, but she was antied. So she gets none of the overhealth. And with T1 clawing their way through the lower bracket, they're heading to the finals, T-Good. Redemption is 1 match away. They get to fight the team that sent them to the losers bracket.
And it was quite a dominant victory in the last round here.
If I'm JP, I'm shaking in my boots.
Like, I would be worried too. If this is the team that's pushing through that you have to face, like, I'd be worried.
There's really no other way to put it. You're right. You should be worried.
But hey, that was a pretty great series. That first game had me really questioning whether or not T1 was here to play, but...
Yeah, T1 definitely beat those allegations.
Yeah, if I had any questions beforehand, you know, they're gone now.
Yeah, I mean, now we get to look a little bit ahead. Fika Time and Bread Dog, or not Fika Time and Bread Dog. Bread Dog and T1 played earlier in the bracket, T-Good. And it was a clean 3-0 for Bread Dog.
And now we're gonna see if this is gonna be a little bit of a comeback story here.
Yeah, well, we're going to be joined by Schindel, renowned support player from T1. Schindel, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
That was a hell of a
Oh,
game.
fine enough.
Honestly, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Really?
you guys came out on that first round, and I was a bit questioning on whether or not this was gonna be a series.
Um, I'm gonna be honest, we weren't warmed up,
I
so
I told you, I told you this had to be a warm-up
that
game.
was our warm-up game. That was our warm-up game.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it.
Helios is just not our map. We tried doing the well strat, did not work out. We
Yeah,
just ended up trying slowly when we got to
I
KR.
I
On KR,
appreciated the well strats.
the well strat they do go funny, but when we got to KR, it's like, all right, time to lock in.
yeah. Now
So
we did see quite a few like turning points throughout the match, but the main one was really just stuffing them on King's Row. Walk us through the main
the game
difference.
plan the game plan in King's Row was when we saw the sim rollout, we were like, okay, they're gonna go up. When they TP'd on top like high ground, Cyber was stuck under there. So we were like, well shit, we need to get him out of there or else we're just screwed. But then we see the seam TP with turrets behind, so we just fall. But since we all get close spawn, we just decide, okay, we need to let's try and keep this like this choke point as much as we can. We got Ryan Shatter, we got everything. Um, I was just not expecting us to just hold the whole 4 minutes on that choke.
Yeah, that was really insane. They did end up making it basically to the end of, or no, maybe they didn't.
In Kings Row,
Yeah, no, they didn't make it to the end.
they didn't. I'm pretty sure they. I think the max they got was. Fuck, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they didn't get to last point though, to second point.
I don't think they did either.
Because if not, it would have gone to overtime.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Fika time, Hunta on the Sombra was very detrimental for your team the entire time, but you guys really not even counter comp, you guys just shot her and didn't let her do anything the entire time. Was that more of a
Cyber was hitting some insane sleeps on that Sombra.
Yeah, Cyber basically set up your entire push map.
Yeah, honestly, the issue with Sombra, that's what like I kind of went in first map expecting, because I remember our match with Fika time during Swiss, and that's Hunter's Sombra is so fucking annoying. Um, like first match, I said, okay, I can't do Juno, so let me do Kiri. Kiri doesn't work. So like, well, shit, let me go Brig. I just didn't know what to do. Then we go on to KR. KR was like a little bit more like, okay, if they go Sombra here, it's like it should be better out. I got my ways to move around the map. I can escape a Sombra, like forcing them to waste a TP if they want to follow kill me. So that was my main game plan going into attack of KR. But when I see like, okay, there's no Sombra, like I just start. It's just my moment. I just start moving around the map, trying to keep everyone alive. And even though we were going against the counter pick, like Ramatra against the Rhine, I know that if I can out tempo the Rhine, keeping my Reinhardt like on top of him, they're not gonna be able to do anything. Just because Juno healing plus Ana is too much and like to overwhelm a Reinhardt with speed.
Yeah, and you did, fortunately for you, get to play against Hunta for 2 games in a row. She did sub for your AFN in that brutal loss.
Honestly, I just want vengeance. I want vengeance against Red Dog. We didn't have Lazy, now we're gonna have him. I believe, chat. I believe.
Yeah, speaking of that, really good follow through. We do get a look ahead to your game versus Bread Dog, but before we do that, let's look at your losers bracket run. Obviously you got 3-0'd by Bread Dog, that being your guys' first loss of the entire season.
Yeah.
I heard there was some
Uh,
aggression towards Spry there, calling him mean
yeah,
names.
yeah. We called. It was annoying because it was the only day that they could, but we didn't like. Lazy was in a lab. He just can't skip that. But whenever we go in top, like, how do I say this? When we went into the game, Pulsar was not expecting to play tank. So he was warming up for support. He was prepared to play a support game. But then when we see, well, shit, we have to play, like, he's not ready at all. It just caught us all off guard, and it just became a domino effect over there. Like, first map, we just get rolled, and it just kept getting worse and worse over the course of the series that game. So it was bad, but now I believe that if we have Lazy, it's going to be a much closer match instead of the 3-0. So I'm just really excited towards that match.
Yeah, I think it's going to hopefully it's the best match of the whole season. I mean, you're the two best teams throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, honestly. During Swiss, my boy Scrug, the Doomfist GOAT, uh, it just his Doomfist is scary as hell, man. Like
Yeah,
that
him and Hunter on a
Doomfist
team would
makes me
feed
shiver my timbers.
families. I don't even want to think about him and Hunter on a team. That'd just be terrifying.
Oh hell no, hell no! I would kill myself, genuinely.
I would too. I would disband the league. There's no reason to continue. They win every game. But yeah,
But
after that, you did play AFN. You beat them, unfortunately.
The AFN game was fun.
Nope,
AFN
it
game
was not fun. I disliked that game. I think we should replay it for a chance to see who goes to the finals.
Jared, I'm sorry.
Nope, it's
Jared.
okay. This ain't about me. This is about you. You also just beat Fika time. So, going into that next game versus Bread Dog, are there any things outside of having Lazy Dog you really want to do differently? Or do you think you have the right things right here? You just need to have Lazy.
When it comes to Bread Dog, I tend to shift my game plan because I know it's a Doomfist. I know I'm facing a Doomfist. I'm basically it's my solo queue mentality just clicks in since I'm used to playing either with or against the Doomfist. So my main plan is trying to not look at him, if you get what I mean. Like the main thing that can fuck us up is if we charge him. And leaving, if I'm gonna be honest, if a Doomfist doesn't get charged, he's useless. He's just gonna be, in league terms, it's gonna be just if we have a super minion in the backline. So if we just play around that fact, we can genuinely just like go towards their backline and force a swap. So that's my idea going into it. I know Scrug is my goat. Love you, Scrug. Scrug can genuinely pull some shit out of his ass, though. That man is insane on the Doom. But I feel like if we can find a way to counterplay it and force a swap, we would be in a much better position.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I got a few more questions for you. Tika, do you have anything before I wrap it up?
Oh no, I got nothing.
All right. Who would you like to shout out on your team?
My boy Cyber hitting the most, he's my Pookie, hitting the most insane fucking sleeves on a Sombra I've ever fucking seen. Then Lazy, my goat. And then we got the Desert Boy himself, Chandra. And then my Pookie, we all know him. We all love him. The Jackson, the Deathhoof.
Yeah, the McDonald's Genji was not it map 1.
The McDonald's Genji.
And of course, if you'd like to shout out on anyone for Fika time.
Honestly, their whole team was gas. I'm not gonna lie. Like, my boy, my meme. I don't know his full name. It's like
My meme is true. We all call him Mons.
My meme is true. That fucking Ramatra sometimes kind of cooked me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. No, I taught him everything he knows.
And then we have Hunter. Hunter is just a stupidly good Sombra. Like, holy hell.
Best in Sweden.
Like their whole team was commendable. It wasn't a like an easy game for us to win. They held us pretty well on King's Row. They just stomped us on Ilios. Like we couldn't do anything against that. Like it was not a close stomp in my opinion, but it was close. I really enjoyed that series, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I was kind of here for the start of it, but obviously stinks it ended at 4 maps. Little rolly at the end, but that is all the time we have for the day. Thank you for Spindle for coming in and giving us a good little interview that Spry probably won't beat you for.
Honestly, I knew it was like last match, so I was like, you know what? Let me make Sprite proud. Let me make Sprite proud.
Okay, well, we usually interview the whole team for the finals, so.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm probably gonna be my own self during the finals.
That's okay. Well, thank you to Fika Time for finishing out their playoff run. Unfortunately, getting that third place does kind of sting. But yeah, that is all we got for the day. Thank you, T Good, for casting with me, as it was very last minute. And goodbye.
Bye bye.